live at Kampala's home of rugby. This is HR Fridays and we're recording live from Chadondo Rugby Grounds in Kampala. Are you looking for a place to chill, have a few drinks, have what to eat while enjoying the evening, morning or afternoon breeze? This is the place for you to be. My name is Ruby Engena and I'm very excited to host you again on yet another edition of HR Fridays. Are you busy doing nothing or are you busy making impact? This month, our topic was busyness versus business. So excited to have our next guest on. He is the head of sales and head of personal and business banking at Stanbic Bank Uganda. He loves rugby. Good conversation, which we're about to have.
I used to play rugby a lot. I lost teeth. I dislocated shoulders. My girlfriend at the time was wondering what was going on with me, but I wanted to play. My career was suffering. I said, but I am not commercializing this. Right? Whereas I love the game, and maybe a few of my friends love me, it's not sustainable. When I'm 30, I'll be on the street.
Enjoy as I sit down with David Mutaka. So David, why rugby?
Why rugby? I think I discovered it in school, first and foremost, and then the nature of the sport. It's such a team sport, and that the brotherhood you build, it never leaves you. The character building as well. So some of the things that I've learned in my life that I live even now are from rugby. The creativity required to overcome brute force. The skill to take a ball from one side when 15 people are trying to kill you to their side. I think it's the whole thing. Then of course I think it's one of the most social sports. So unlike as in social on and off pitch. So whereas football fans fight, rugby fans sing songs and dance together. The teams before and after very respectful. A rugby player cannot talk back to a referee as an example. These things where you throw your hands up. The call is the call. You deal with what you're dealt. I mean, so it's. I think for me, it's so much like life. We actually say rugby is life.
I'm just wondering, rugby is the roughest game, yet there are no guards. Yet a game like hockey, everybody's like masked up and has all these helmets and whatever. But why is rugby so open?
So human-to-human contact, especially when it is controlled and deliberate, is not that bad. But you know that hockey ball is, I think it's made of stone. So that can really, or a cricket ball. But with rugby, for example, to tackle you, I have to use my shoulder. Okay, I can't use my head. I can't do this. So there's a bit of control in that. I can only tackle you below the neck. All right. So there's it has a lot of laws that ensure safety. So safety comes first. And I think, so the first value in rugby is safety. So because of that, you're playing such a high impact sport, but it's so regulated that you have to be quite clever other than using brute force. But of course it still does have that element of physicality to it. And I think the challenge for any sportsman or individual is to sort of say, how do I become a supreme athlete? So, yeah.
Just to break the ice, have you ever done something? Have you ever been busy doing something that you look back and realize was a waste of your time?
I can think of a few, and I think it's really around productivity. So all the stuff that you're doing, what value is it adding? So one of the big ones that maybe people can relate to, I don't know if you were born at the time when there was a craze about series. And really? The series was 24. And people would stay up all night and watch 24. And I used to be, I think I started the series craze. I used to watch series all the time. And when I saw this, and I was like, but honestly, I'm tired in the morning. I didn't have time for the things I wanted to do. and I am still going out there craving for more, looking, setting up times to pick up such things. And I like, so, but what's all that activity for? So that's one. The other one is, again, as a guy, watching football, where you stay 90 minutes watching a game, watch the post-game analysis, discuss the game for another 4 hours. So, but where were you? I was busy, right? 4 hours of my day gone. At work as well, I think there are many things that we do because we like them. Hobbies, professional hobbies. Such as I like working with spreadsheets. So I decided, instead of doing the one thing that's important, maybe preparing for a client, I'd rather do this spreadsheet, which is I could probably do on the weekend or in my free time, and I don't end up doing the thing that I want to do. Or even school, you know, when you had a math test, but then because you like geography, you read geography, and yet the math test is tomorrow. So some of the things, it's about prioritizing and what the productivity is. So yeah.
Okay, so how do you know exactly what to focus on?
For me, how do you know what's important is to say, and if I could borrow Stephen Covey's productivity quadrant, urgent, important, urgent, important, and then not urgent, not important. So important rarely chases you. So important is more long term. Important is around your own personal system. So your beliefs, your important relationships, the amount of money you need to make, the impact you need to make on the world. And I think for me, that's where importance sort of rests. Now, the activity that sort of actualizes that then becomes important. But it's not easy because there are many things that are chasing you that are more now. It is here now. So I feel the need to do it. So my friends will show up and say, hey, this game is showing. And I say, you know what, but I should actually be finishing this project that might get me promoted. I say, but why? The football is here. You know, it is a one-time thing. So you find yourself now all of a sudden in urgent mode because now I finish the game and I'm like, shit, I have 2 hours left. And I then say I am now busy. I put up poor quality work. I feel like I'm overworked. Yet if I look back and say, so defining what's important to you, I think based on some tenets around, I know first of all it's long term. It doesn't pay me now, right? It's very rare that important things pay you now. Busy things pay you now. It's almost like a fix, right? You know, you feel a craving.
You're hungry.
Yeah, you get the food. And so people get caught up in tick off lists, right? I have a list of things and every time I finish, I tick it off. I tick it off. I tick it off. Yet when you say, but is this important? But it's ticked.
So in short, you're saying we need to focus on things that are important.
We need to focus on things that are important if we want business, right? If you want to, because if you said, you know what, busyness versus business. Business pays you. If you think about business enterprise, I have to find a way to make it pay, commercialize it, all right? So if I take time to learn a skill as an example, I may not be able to play an instrument now, but in 5 years, I'm playing a concert. So right now I'm busy with it, but I understand where it's taking me, right? Yet I could be doing something now that will never take me anywhere or pays me peanuts, but really doesn't grow me any skill. Once it goes away, I am done for. So I think for me thinking, what, first of all, what resonates with me? How do I build it to a level that it is sellable? The marketplace wants it. The marketplace is always looking for value, right? So you find people hanging on to, let's say, my job. So what I'm busy with is making sure no one is backstabbing me. Instead of really building core skills, understanding the business, and saying, what do people buy from us actually? What is our USP that makes me always employable? Not the fact that I have a letter that says permanent and pensionable. It's actually skills.
So how do you know that you're making an impact?
Yeah, and it's, by the way, you could be busy wasting time, and you could just with a small switch turn around and make it business, right? And even maybe before I answer that question, I say, you know what, so for example, I used to play rugby a lot. I lost teeth, I dislocated shoulders. My girlfriend at the time was wondering what was going on with me, but I wanted to play. My career was suffering. I said, but I am not commercializing this, right? Whereas I love the game, and maybe a few of my friends love me, it's not sustainable. When I'm 30, I'll be on the street. So in that moment, I say, unless I'm going to commercialize this, if I can go pro, hence I need to put in real disciplines that allow me to go pro, which was not likely. I cut back. I said, you know what, I'm building a career in HR, I've just started a new job. So let me do that. And I said, so, and that's where you start saying, you know what, how am I making an impact? Is there a customer at the end of the day? And I use customer loosely, but is there someone who gets real value that makes a difference, right? So for me, that's where then you sort of say, because being busy is about saying no. And I think I like the Apple phrase, you know what, it's not what you say yes to, it's what you say no to, right? So how do you say no to things that are enticing, that hug you, that seem comfortable, right? So business has that comfort, right? Your friends call you, say, hey, there's this project, it's nice. You go and do it. When you think back, first and foremost, how you know it's busyness, there's always remorse afterwards, right? There's always remorse. That's the first thing. You know, you feel like a pain. And then when you call back on those friends to say, you know, I was with you on this other thing, come and help me with this. They say, hi, look, I'm busy, I can't come. Then you realize that actually where I'm investing, it's not returning. And I think for me, that's the true, if I invest, does it return? And hence, you need to take time to reflect on your life. And I don't think, again, because of business, we don't reflect. So we think reflection time is a waste of time. So if I reflect and say, but what do I truly, what could I put my mind behind this year? That next year, if someone met me, they'd say, is this Ruby or is this David? You know, and you see it all the time. You say, this guy started doing this after me, but now look at them. It's because they spent time building that skill. Because the market wants value, but it won't, value doesn't happen instantly, you know. So the time to really build something that's then sellable. And at first, because the start looks so long, many times people give up. I think for me that's the thing. And just overcoming that initial inertia, that sort of says that looks like you're wasting your time, to say I'm actually building something. And that's why reflecting is important, to go back and say, am I still on the right wall? Is my ladder still on the right wall? Hence, even if I climb and fall, I know the day I get it right, it will be absolutely worth it.
A hobby is bad. A hobby is bad.
Hobbies are good. I'm not saying hobbies are bad, but they need to be segmented and given a real, almost disciplined time. All right. Otherwise, because they are so seductive, you can do a hobby all your life, right? And hobbies, sometimes it looks like, you know, I love football, I love rugby, obvious hobby. Deceptive hobby at work, you know. Don't forget even watching. You're on a project that no one really cares about, you know, and there's a real implementation of a project that will make a difference. But because it is difficult, because you fear criticism, because you don't know where to start, you avoid it and procrastinate on it. And you know, and be really busy on some small thing, and even buy support for it, get guys to rally behind it. Yet it's really, when you think about the value of it, I say, so at the end of the day, what will be, you know, they talk about the tea in China. What will we do with the price of tea in China? Nothing. And those are the seductive hobbies that deceive us, and actually then you think you're busy. All right. And so for me, that's the one. So making sure that you know this is hobby time, because when you're in the world of business, as you know, productive work tiring, all right? It's frustrating sometimes. So you need a place that you can go to every once in a while to refresh, to just rediscover yourself, to get more creative, and hobbies are good for that. And that's why, you know, you sort of say, I'll go out for a drink, but I'll not binge. Because what happens on the other side is, because I've been busy all day, fighting fires, doing things I shouldn't have been for, going for meetings I didn't even know what the agenda was. At the end of the day, I'm so tired, I need to drink until I drop, or I need to eat until I drop, or it is TV until I drop. So the thing becomes too much. I don't know if you believe in God or Allah or, yes, whatever maker is, whoever is watching, to say He made you with certain skills and talents. So you're here for a reason. And if you believe that, then you know that there's something that's innate in you that you're supposed to be delivering. And many of us are like Jonah, running away from our mission, right? So you'll see things people value. You'll see things you do easily and people say, how did you do that? Now the idea is to think commercial. Because there are things that thinking commercial, sometimes you also feel like you're either greedy, you are manipulative, or no one will pay for it. You undermine yourself, and hence you miss the opportunity. All right. So, and you talk about Medicine Friday, HR Friday. But you see, if you think about it and say, you know what? By the way, there are people looking for advice. Even if I helped 10 people, all right, could that get to 100? How could it get to 1,000? Because then that is creative thinking work, and you may not have the answer. And then you say, what? How did who do it? All right, because there are people who, you know, have 1 million followers, you know, have gone on to become. So you say, what? How did that person do it? Because then that starts leading you around your growth path and the things you need to discover. Then it becomes worth it, because you find when you're doing the research there, it's fun as well, because it plays to your strengths. So the ability, I don't think there's a need to, there's a realization. So the reflection to realize that, and then get doing and seeking help, and always thinking that if there's value, people will pay for it. I mean, if I think about the music industry in the days or when I was growing up, File Lutaya, I don't think he was making money because he was a student. All right, we used to listen to Congolese music. Then all of a sudden, Ogopa and Chameleon show up, and now the music industry is actually something that people pay for. So the more developed nations have realized that value has to be paid for. I think in Uganda, people, even your friends, say, but you give me for free a sample. People don't appreciate value, and it's your job, I think, to also teach them value. Say value needs to be paid for. And so even myself, I live that. So if I see value, I'll be the first to buy it. So I'll try not to plagiarize people's work. I'll try not to steal free videos, and you know, I'll try to pay for it. Well, I think then you're always thinking value. You're always seeing, that's an opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, so forget everything that I've said. Tell me, what are your 2 cents?
I think it's a very topical topic, because there's a lot of people saying, I don't have money, the world is off, I don't have connections, I can't make it. So how do you think about how productive am I being? So you're not just going to work on the JD, or you're not going to your business to say, the customer has come. I understand that every customer is an opportunity, all right? Whether I am the owner of the business or I am a worker there. So I'm always looking to say, how do I become more productive? Hence, what should I eliminate from my life that constitutes busyness? And how do I bring in more productive things? Because the less you think about business, the more you're busy, because urgencies start coming. You have bills to pay, hence all of a sudden I'm thinking about all the people I can borrow money from. Because I borrow money from them, I owe them favors. Because I didn't pay my bill on time, you know, they are cutting off power and I have to go now and chase Umeme to pay them. So all of a sudden I've clutter of urgent things I have to do because I didn't plan for them through thinking what's important. Yeah.
So David, I've really brain. You've given me so many things to think about. The more you think, the less you think about business, the more you get busy.
Yes.
No, the less you think about business,
Yes.
actually, the more you get busy.
Correct.
And your power is not what you say yes to. Your power is what you say
No
to.
to.
What you say.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome.
I know the show ends now, but you and I are obviously going to stay after here. And just
Well, I could talk all night, but
I know. But thank you very much. This is HR Fridays. To the rest of the viewers, remember you are the CEO of you. See you next week.